In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I got monetized in 5 months and also just general beginner YouTube tips. So if you've always been curious about doing YouTube or have been holding off on doing YouTube, this video is for you. Let's get into it. I will have my notes on my phone, so if you see me looking down, that is why. The first tip is to just start off by posting shorts. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this feature, but now when you post a short, you're able to link a full-length YouTube video in the description, which I think is great for bringing traffic to your channel. So it's a great way to kind of hook your audience and get them to watch your longer form videos. It's a great place to start if you're intimidated by long form content. Honestly, if you're starting from scratch, it might be best because it can be a lot to learn how to edit a full-length video. I know it was a learning curve for me since I was used to only doing short form content on like Instagram, TikTok. It's a great way to get comfortable with editing. Also, when you have long form videos on your channel, to bring traffic from your shorts to your channel. The next tip I have not heard enough about, and that is to use Pinterest to drive traffic to your channel. This is something that I recently discovered in like the last couple of months. Basically, what I mean by that is posting whatever content you create, for example, for shorts, right? Reposting that on your Pinterest. You can link your YouTube channel or a specific YouTube video to that pin as well. When people like your pin, usually what I do is like, ooh, I like that person's style, you know, and then I'll like see if they have an account of any kind that I could follow and get more inspired. I will do so. So instead, you'll be linking them directly to your YouTube. An additional thing that you can do is link your YouTube channel in your bio. Some of my pins have blown up and I've had like thousands of clicks to my YouTube channel, my Instagram, utilizing this tip. I didn't start with this tip because I know a lot of people will roll their eyes at it, but seriously, like it really helps to grow on another platform and bring that audience to your YouTube. It's not 100% necessary, but I think it's smart to do. For instance, you start YouTube posting shorts, right? Why not post them on TikTok or Instagram and then grow an audience there? So whenever you post a YouTube video, you can post a story and be like, hey guys, I just posted a video, check out my YouTube. And you can also post your YouTube in your bio, on TikTok, on Instagram. For example, in my situation, I had regrown an Instagram account to about 50K followers. That really helped my channel get that initial boost of subscribers and then people watching my videos. What's great about Instagram, you can actually link in your stories. So whenever I post a new YouTube video, I post a story on my Instagram and then link it. And that really helped me, especially with my first couple of videos. I would really encourage you at least to repost your content on TikTok. Instagram has been pissing me off lately. Like the engagement is terrible. And that might just be my fault because I've kind of been putting all my focus on YouTube and low-key abandoning my Instagram. So I think the algorithm's pissed at me for not posting consistently like I used to in the beginning. In addition to what I just spoke about, you can also utilize your other platform to do sneak peeks, I like to call them. Let me give you an example. I did like a winter outfits YouTube video, right? I took like 3 of those outfits from that YouTube video, reposted them to TikTok, Instagram, and then on the description, I just put sneak peek of my newest YouTube video. I feel like that grabs people's attentions and they're like, ooh, I want to see more of that. So then they'll hopefully click on your account and then check out the rest of the video. As I'm filming this, I'm thinking of more tips to kind of build on this tip. If you have the time and energy, you can always repurpose a lot of your content from YouTube to short form content, especially if you do fashion content like me, so outfits. You would just change the ratio of the video, zoom in, whatever you have to do. I know a lot of people don't like this next tip, but seriously, I would highly suggest posting once a week when you're starting your channel. I think you really need to prove to people initially that you can be consistent and they can rely on you. That's how you can begin to create a community, build those relationships if you're consistently engaging, providing content to your audience. I think a lot of people are used to being abandoned by their favorite creators, especially their larger creators. You know, they'll like post every 6 months, dip out for a year, come back. You definitely don't want to start off a relationship like that with your audience, at least in my opinion. The next tip is in relation to that, and that is be willing to sacrifice your time or carve out a day and time that you will film and edit. This is just highly necessary, especially with me. I'm a huge procrastinator, so I really had to buckle down and be like, all right, dude, like you have to utilize Fridays, even if it's like Friday morning to Friday afternoon to film. Otherwise, I would not get it done during the week. I'm too busy. I end work like at 6 o'clock when it's dark already. I'm not a morning person, so I'm not going to wake up at 6 a.m. to film and the whole thing. You just really have to be okay with realizing that if this is something that you want, it's going to be worth the time that you're taking away from your friends and family, from your partner to do this. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, sometimes on Friday I wake up and it's not what I want to do at all. Like, I'd rather be out hanging out with friends, going for brunch, whatever, thrifting, you know, doing the thing. But I know that this is something that I want, and I want to continue growing this channel, so I have to keep making those sacrifices. So if you're not ready to do that, then maybe it's not the right time for you. And I'm just, just trying to be real with you guys. The next tip is super helpful, and that is to follow trends that apply to your channel. For instance, I follow a lot of fashion girlies, and I kind of watch what they do, kind of study the type of videos that they do. If you really pay attention, they all kind of play off of each other, which I think is totally fair, right? We're all individuals. So even if we make a video, it's going to be a different version of that video, different personality, different style. For instance, some of the popular videos that I recreated or did my own version of were a closet clean out and then a 2023-2024 fashions trend video. Those are huge amongst the fashion community. So when I saw those, I'm like, ooh, I need to make my own version. Algorithm will pick up on it. They'll probably recommend your video amongst the videos with the larger following. So win-win situation. Definitely don't feel shame in taking inspiration from other creators that are similar to the content that you're creating. The next tip I have for you guys is that videos that benefit your audience or provide value do best. For instance, I did a how to style your band tee in 10 different ways, and that actually did really, really well. And it was like one of my earlier videos, and I think it hit like 1K views, which I think is excellent for a small channel like myself. A video that actually helped me get monetized in 5 months and kind of blew up for me. I think now it's at like 40K views. Was a video called 15 Ways to Be More Stylish. At first I doubted myself with this video. I'll get into details a little bit later why I doubted myself when making this video, but like duh, obviously people like a video. Like, who doesn't want to be more stylish and hotter, or also who doesn't want to be validated in their choices? You know what I mean? Like, I keep getting a lot of comments like, oh my god, I do all these things, I guess I'm hot and cool. It's a video that really resonated with people, and I think because again, it provides validation or ideas for people, and I think that's super valuable. The next tip is to try and find gaps in content. For instance, I did not see any videos that were specifically teaching people how to style moto boots, which are like the kind of the biggest shoe trend, or one of the biggest shoe trends right now of 2024. I did my research, I was like, how to style moto boots in the search bar or whatever, and like the only videos that came up were from like 10 years ago, 8 years ago. So I'm like, ooh, there's a gap here, you know? Or there was, I think, like 1 or 2 videos that were more recent, but it was from people with completely different style from myself. So I'm like, ooh, okay, I'm gonna do this. Another video that I found a gap for that I did was my how to keep your alternative style at work. There was no video like it, I don't think. Maybe similar. Ones that I kept seeing during my search were more in like the gothic sort of style. I wouldn't really describe my style as goth. It's just like, it's kind of like a mix of things, to be honest. Like, I really get inspired by different alternative subcultures and then just kind of pick and choose what I like for myself. So I'm like, okay, I think there's some value here. That video did pretty well. If you want to check it out, I'll link it down below. I think it's still a really valuable video, and I got really good feedback in the comments, so I'm glad that I filmed that. The next one is to use ChatGPT to create titles. I found myself kind of getting stuck for a lot of my videos because I wanted to be kind of like eye-catching, low-key controversial, because let's be real, we all love a good controversy, or we like when things are a little bit negative. Maybe I'm speaking for myself, but the things that grab my attention are a little bit like shady or a little like baity. I'll give you a little example here when I was chatting with ChatGPT. How I came up with the title for my tattoo tour video, because I'm like, there's so many tattoo tours on YouTube. How can I kind of grasp people's attention? Ended up with the title, Why Meaningless Tattoos Are a Waste of Skin, a Personal Tattoo Tour. I did that next part, but ChatGPT helped me create the first part of the title. It's kind of like a cheeky, haha, like I clarify in the very beginning of the video where I'm like, obviously, I have tons of meaningless tattoos. It doesn't matter. It's just art on your body. ChatGPT is great when you're feeling stuck on video titles. The next tip is to take inspiration, but do not copy other people's content. Just remember that you are an individual, and even though something has been done, it hasn't been done by you. Honestly, that was probably one of the reasons why I avoided doing a channel for so long, where I was like, all the ideas that I have are already been done. People already like kind of follow the people that they like, do I really need to put myself out there? And it's like, no, dude, like I have something to offer that maybe is a little bit different. I genuinely believe that all of us have something a little bit different to offer, whether that be our style is a little bit different than other creators, our humor, maybe just our lifestyle, right? Like a lot of us have different careers outside of this whole content creation. I feel like, I don't know, we can offer a different perspective. Just keep that in mind when you're comparing yourself to other creators and thinking like, what's the point, right? Like, why do I need to put myself out there? And maybe you do, maybe you would resonate with a specific audience. So it's worth a shot. The next tip is to stop questioning yourself and just post. I'm personally still working on this because I've had so many ideas that I've scrapped because I'm like, oh, no one will want to watch this. I saw Drew Joyner do like things that make you more stylish. As he was talking, I was watching the video. I'm like, dude, I have, additional ideas that I could add. And I was like, ooh, what if I made my own version of this video? I even put it on my notes app and everything. But then as the week went along, I'm like, do people really want to hear this perspective? Like maybe these things are obvious, right? Again, not confident in myself, losing confidence or whatever. But like if I hadn't posted that video, I would not have been monetized in 5 months. I reached the 1,000 subscribers before that, but I was still struggling to reach the 4,000 watch hours. And that video, literally, it just blew up overnight. If you get an idea, even if it's not already out there, it might be the video that helps you get monetized, helps you grow your channel. So just do it. The next one's not really a tip, but more just kind of a general idea, and that is that you will cringe so hard in the beginning at your content. Honestly, I still cringe at my content. Hearing your voice as you're editing, your little quirks, whatever, like I notice little subtle things about myself. Like when I'm processing information, I look up a lot, my eyes move around, and I felt very subconscious about that. But I'm like, who gives a shit? It's me. You know what I mean? It is what it is. If people finding it annoying, they can just click off your video. Along the lines of cringing hard at your videos in the beginning is that you have to be okay with making mistakes. It happens. For most of us, it's something brand new that we've never done before. So be gentle with yourself. I have videos where the music was a little bit too loud or the editing was a bit choppy. If you look back at larger creators' content, which I have, just to make myself feel better, because you think these people are like, perfectionists, but none of those creators started perfect. If you go back to their first video from like 6 years ago, it's also choppy and maybe a little awkward. You just have to be okay with making yourself cringe, especially in the beginning. And you have to be okay with the idea that random people will see your content, maybe make fun of it, but like, who cares? You have to remember that you are the one that's brave enough to put yourself out there and not give a and I think that's pretty cool. So just a reminder, if you're feeling cringy about like, oh my God, people in my past are making fun of me. They're probably watching my videos, judging me, like literally, like who cares? Are you going to let people hold you back? Let judgment hold you back? A big thing that encouraged me when being hesitant about starting a channel was like, am I going to regret this in 10 years? Am I going to regret allowing the judgment or the possible judgment of other people hold me back from what I want to achieve? Like, no. So just remember that, keep that in mind. The next tips are a little bit more technical. The first being is that you do not need a camera to start, but I really find it so helpful. I think the first video I ever filmed, which I already deleted because it was not good quality, like the angle and everything, it bothered me a lot, so I deleted it. The point that I'm trying to make here is if you have the means, I highly recommend getting a camera. It's kind of a pain in the ass using your phone because most of us don't have enough storage on there. Phone dies on you. There's just something so nice about like the ease of utilizing a camera. You have plenty of storage. You don't have to go with like the craziest, most expensive equipment. I didn't. I have the Sony SV1F. It's like the cheaper version. There's one that's more expensive. I think my camera was about like $450. I think in total like $500 or something like that. Slap that shit on a credit card, pay it off in payments if you need to. I'll post the one that I have down below. I really love it. I don't need anything crazy, super expensive. Maybe in the future, if this channel continues to grow, I'll upgrade. But for now, this is doing everything that I need. I'll link the equipment that I use, like the tripod, these little microphones, so you could build yourself a little kit. I personally like to hear what other creators use. I did so much research on this camera, so if you've been kind of debating what camera to go with, I highly recommend this one. The next tip is to use free apps. So for editing, I use CapCut. It has everything that you need on there. You can always upgrade for the pro version, which I recently have. I think it's like $5 a month. It just gives you additional little editing tools that you can use, but you really don't need it. I I didn't have the paid version for months and months, and it was fine. I highly recommend starting off on CapCut. I think it's super easy to learn. Also, you can start off editing your shorts on there and use the same skills that you use to edit your shorts to edit your long form content. It's basically the same. It just takes a lot more time. For my thumbnails, I use PixArt. PixArt has the cutest fonts. It's a great app, honestly. Even just for editing your pictures, I use it as well. So PixArt and CapCut, 2 great free apps to start on your little YouTube journey. The next tip is to follow creators that will keep you up to date on any YouTube updates or YouTube tips. My 2 favorite creators are Katie Steckley and Jade Beeson. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. I hope I'm saying their names right. I'll link their accounts down below so you guys could check them out. I stay watching their channels. They always know what's up, especially Jade. She has the inside with YouTube, and she usually knows every update before it's like out to the general public. Those 2 actually really inspired me to get started on YouTube. So I would highly recommend that you guys check them out. They also do updates on Instagram and TikTok. So if you want tips for that as well, super useful. Not a tip, but just a last thought that I put on my notes app here is that starting YouTube or starting content creation will really show you who your friends are and really kind of prove to you who the people in your life who truly support you. I was super nervous to tell people in my life, like, oh, I'm starting YouTube or whatever. When I first started Instagram, like, I was so embarrassed by it, but now I am not. The reason I was nervous or a little ashamed was because I thought the people in my life would like judge me or whatever, but they do nothing but uplift me. They watch my videos. I feel very supported. Like, I have friends offer like, hey, you want to do a video together? I'm down. And so it's been really great. And if you don't receive that type of feedback, I would really encourage you to analyze whether you want those type of people in your life. The people who are going to be judgmental, maybe it's time to cut them out. Another way to test the relationships in your life, if that's what you're looking for. Just thought I would throw that in there just in case, you know, you thought the same or whatever, or were worried about that. All right, everyone, I really hope that this video was helpful to you in any way, that you can take away any of these tips to start your YouTube channel or just answer any questions that you've had about starting a YouTube channel. I want to reiterate that not everyone is going to monetize in 5 months, and that is okay. Some people might monetize earlier than that. Some people might take longer than that, and that is totally okay. Our journeys are all going to look different. Some people have the privilege of more time for filming and editing, etc., or they've built a large platform already, you know, like I did. So I definitely can recognize that I had a leg up, and I just want to emphasize that. I don't want people to be like, you already had a following. I'm like, yeah, I recognize that. I'm sure if I didn't, it would probably take me a year that it typically takes people to monetize. Keep being consistent and don't give up, and remember that there's only one you. And I know this isn't a fashion video, but I don't want to just stick to one niche. I want to maybe do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and YouTube tips is something that I like to watch and I wouldn't mind occasionally doing on my channel. So I hope that you guys don't mind a video that I have in mind in the future. If you want to stick around, I'm going to do a how much I've made in 6 months of being monetized on YouTube, and I'll really break down what videos did well, how much YouTube paid me, and I love those videos. I am so nosy, like girl, give me the numbers, let me know how much you made. Let me know in the comments if you want to start a YouTube and have been hesitating, or whether any of these tips were helpful, if you agree with any of the things that I've said in this video, and if you want to keep seeing this face, please subscribe down below. I post videos every week. Bye!